Unless you want to make the repeat and then
Oh, it's
skip.
going.
Just so we have more time to waste your time talking.
Oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't see anything. Ethan, do you want this? Fine. I suck at this.
I'd like to know why the piano lid is where it is.
Half stick would be appropriate.
Whole stick.
Whole stick.
You know, it's an interesting.
Because right now, I mean, I hear you very well, but I miss the clarity and the resonance.
Ooh, you're in the wrong hole, pardon me. No, in. That one. That's a scary thing, you know? As a cellist, when I come out, the first thing I look at it, is that thing in the right hole? Otherwise, that's going to come down right on my head. Can I mention something about, does anybody know, or these guys probably know the Alberto Bachmann Encyclopedia of the Violin?
I've looked at it.
It's this dubious source, but it's a big, long book about the violin and everything about it. And he has an important chapter on there on playing chamber music with piano. He said, of course, when playing chamber music with the piano, it's preferable that the piano is all the way down. He said, sometimes completely closed. With the cover down. You know, with the cover's down and stands on top of the cover.
And also over the keys.
Yeah, the keys. Do that, yeah. I'm not always, you have to be extremely careful, otherwise, and this piece already, everybody's just doubling your piano the whole time, so there's hardly ever any independent action in the string player. So now, be careful, be very careful. Hey, can I start? I'm a little on fire about one thing and I'll get it done with quickly this time. In the development section, you have the double bar, and the strings, you have a long series of those, that thing that always starts on the fourth eighth, it goes 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, that place. Number one in the strings, you've got to remember that that's going on all the time, and don't start imagining that early beat in the piano, that early eighth on the piano has anything to do with where your changes are. It's always a lag behind it because it should sound messed up there. And in addition to that, one more thing about it is that every now and then, that the left hand comes in. In my opinion, which you can totally get rid of if you want to, that's supposed to be like, there's a conflict going on between that figure that you're playing over and over again and that thing which is the opening theme material, the half-notes. So if you can treat it like that, you may have a tremendously more exciting development section. So can we just try it there? After the da 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 da, after that whole thing, there's a bit where that starts. You can even start, you can play. Yeah, you can start. Yeah, there. Is that a good place?
Yeah.
This is one part of the score then. Well, the one we'll see. Yeah. And then so you're going to get rid of, keep his key part of here. Remember, so and you're going to have to now like concerto solos with small orchestra, and when those you're going to play the opening of the piece. Yes. But you lost it at the end, right before the weekend. This will keep on going. Oh, da 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 da. even into the recap? Is it one of those eighth notes before the downbeat of the recapitulation? Is there not? So I was missing that, and I thought that overall that you could have been more imaginative in your treatment of those figures. They sounded like they were a little bit like it was an etude more than it was like you're really spinning out an incredibly long line that has lots of variety in it. And later on when the cello, you have the little crescendos, you could bring those out more. And some of the other times the other three strings could have brought it down a little bit, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you for indulging me, gentlemen.
You know, at the beginning, or right here at the recap, when you start, I like what you're doing, but I wonder...
Paul, did you really like it, or was that just gratuitous? He gets that of us all the time. I really loved you the way you're playing it, however.
No, I did like it, but I wonder, there would be another way of looking at it with these accents. There'd be instead of bum, 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 to have a little swing in it. Da 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 dum bum 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 ya da dee ya. And what I like about doing it that way is, first of all, it gives it much more spirit. But it also, this way, the way you're doing it seems just a little bit.
Paul, do you think it's the end of the stroke? Is that what you're talking about?
It's sort of like a.
Yes.
Sort of a little swing in it. It's a bomb. There's an accent, but it's the release in it. The ya wah wah. Just try that once.
I'm terrible at this.
How does the audience feel? Did they improve? Yes.
Yeah.
It did sound better.
To the
By the way, there's words that go along with that which are very good. It's who wants to be a millionaire, and then the viola answers with, I want to be a millionaire. And that makes you feel like, it gives you more, it's like more of an impetus to play the piece
If I
beautifully.
could add to that, when the viola says millionaire, the viola shouldn't slow down.
And if I could add to that, if you could really make clear that two notes are separately articulated and two notes are slurred, so we really hear da 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 dum bum da 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 da. I mean, you don't have to make a big deal about it, but just so it doesn't sound as if the four notes are the same, either all slurred or all separate, that you make a distinction.
So from there?
You know, Paul and I played this piece a couple of times together. He doesn't like the way I play it. And he always complains about it. But there's something about this part. Play against the offbeats in the piano a little bit more, because you're sort of, I don't want to say you're rushing it, but it sounds a tiny bit agitated, and it sounds like you're not paying attention to those second and fourth quarter notes in the piano.
Can you start at the second time?
But before you start the second time, the first time, are you starting on the first two notes on the same string?
Yes.
Is it possible to be a little bit less of a cellist and more of a singer instead of da 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 da? Just a trace of a connection between that. Sorry.
It's the second time.
You can do the second time. You can do that.
Yeah, right, we just came back to.
For my taste, maybe a little too pushy. But for me, it's like both of you have this beautiful, sort of gorgeous duet. But you come in with this pain, and I want to feel the pain.
Okay, but once you're bringing him up, I have a couple of complaints.
I do too.
The first one is that the second time around, when you have the second set of pairs, you have a set of grace notes. Da 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 da. Didn't hear them. There are several times where you have to be more careful about grace notes, but you did what I consider a very questionable figure.
Me too.
E string, A string.
Yes.
Da da da.
I want to stop right there. You played the last two half notes on two different
Yeah,
strings.
they should both be on the A string.
Okay. Well, should I just start on the A string?
Yeah, you did. Isn't that what do you do? Start on the A string.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just be careful when you have this da 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 ba da 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 ba da da da. Some of them I heard, some of them I didn't.
Okay.
And in that place, the way Paul was singing the pain part, he didn't really sing that much diminuendo. I think that we as string players play a lot of diminuendos, and so as we're told that they're correct, but maybe it's not a real diminuendo. You can just think that the note tapers like da-dee-da. Uh-oh, last note's going da-dee-da-dee. Maybe it's that kind of diminuendo. Not a real diminuendo. Unless it's printed. Is it printed?
Yes.
Is it printed? Then don't do too much of it. He was wrong. No, he wasn't wrong. Do it, but don't let the note drop in intensity so far that it doesn't sound like part of the line.
Okay.
It's a hard thing to do because you want to be heard, and yet you don't obliterate the melody, which is still going on. So it's this balancing act.
So it's the same place second time in the cello and the violin. The millionaire place.
That's not the going that Mr. Schumann wrote, is it? Da 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 ba da da.
Nay.
No, I caught you. I hear you're not being singers when you do it. You would never say da 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 ba ba da da. And I think Schumann's going will help, or certainly if you take more notes to a bow. Da da ba da da.
Okay.
And if we're going to do it again, in the piano part, you have this nice accompaniment figure. Try a little less pedal, maybe even a half pedal, and then plus keep your hands really close to the keys. Don't let them stray off the keys very far. And I know what you're saying. What does this guy know about piano playing? And the answer is not much, but I know that part.
But what Mr. Neubauer was saying about you have to break our hearts with this little place. Da, 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 da. The character of a passage is often really governed by how you treat the fastest note in the passage. So if you want it to be sort of laid back, da 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 da. But I thought it was too laid back, and that if you have more quickness and intensity on da 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 da, you're going to get more of what I think Schumann wanted, the sort of imploring quality. And if you play it, I mean, he wrote it fast also, but I mean, I think if you get more of that, you'll get more of that intensity if you really play that note a little bit fast.
Okay.
Arnold, do you ever do this vibrato thing?
Well,
That this little extra vibrato on the small note.
and you also make a crescendo with the vibrato. So it's not just your standard gorgeous vibrato, but that you make a crescendo and diminuendo constantly with the way you use your vibrato.
Okay.
I have actually, we were talking about making the whole development section more exciting in the piano, and you have two sets of sforzandi I know that I don't really hear. The last one is you know, just a bunch of bars before the recap. You have da 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 da, and I hear kind of a standard emphasis on the first beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and I mean he didn't write that he went with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Could you play that? I mean, either the first set or the second set, whatever. But I think if you bring that out, it can be much more exciting. And you can make the second note prominent by playing it louder, but you can also make it more prominent by not playing the first note. I mean, get away from the ordinary emphasis you want to make on the first note. Try it again and minimize the first note a little bit to maximize the second beat. Yes. Okay. And the other thing is, it's static if it just goes digga 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 down. But if you do digga digga down, digga digga down, if you kind of rush into the second beat with the fast notes, I think you get more of the feeling of the music. Try it. Yeah, I think that's much better. Yep. And now, you know, I hear what Mr. Schumann wrote. He actually wrote those sforzandi, and we kind of missed them.
You know, going back to what my distinguished colleague, Mr. Fred Sherry, would say about the cross rhythms, I wonder if you could play from 314, and after a few bars, it comes with those accents on the fourth quarters.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say that I really heard that, and it's, I think, very important here at the end that those accents are noticed. And just do, and also that feeling of the da da da, it should be here as well. So could you just do the 314? Beautiful. 314. Crescendo, don't start going toward the tip. Go toward the top. Da 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 da. So you're right where you want to be for the long notes, and also, you know, the gravity is going to help you make the crescendo. You're going to work too hard if you stay at the tip.
Okay. If you're going to do it again, the piano, da 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 da. Try the 4-1 thing again. You went da 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 da. Give a little bit of it. You'll see it's gonna make it sound. It'll fill it in a little bit. And that thing that the thing with the bowing part, which I totally believe in. I don't know if we discussed it fully enough, or whether you. When I'm sitting right next to you. Hey, somebody put chewing gum under here. Whoa! Look at that. Good. Sorry. It's nice. Oh, you put chewing gum under the arm?
Wait a minute, I put that there. Give that back.
The thing about the bowing is, I don't think that you meant for there to be no substance at the end of the note.
No, it's sort of like a...
Yeah, and so there's something about the da.
It's the speed in the middle.
And then the end of the note is not totally empty, right?
Right.
The end of the note, the end of the half notes are not empty. They sound a little bit like that's what's going on now.
That's
and
empty.
I'm watching Paul. You watch his bow arm tonight. It's a very weird bar. Way up like this.
I wouldn't take that.
No, but it's also great, 'cause you'll see he's going to go like this, and then there's going to be a little something at the end of the stroke. There's going to be a little, like it's kind of a turnaround. What do you think of it? You don't even think of it.
Up bow, down bow.
Up or down. Either up or down. Okay,
You have
so,
only down going up, but there isn't
that's all I
another
do.
going?
It's about it.
okay, so and see that at the end of the bow can say a little something as well, but don't do anything, but don't let it go in your ear. Let it to the end of the note. So that same place again?
Yeah, and you see those accents really, I think they make it much more exciting. Here's the process.
Because the tempo didn't continue to move forward. If anything, it began to drag. Da 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 da. If you let it go forward a little bit, let go of the reins a little bit. Da 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 da. And one thing about playing second violin is you have to have a chip on your shoulder. You know, they're out to get you. They're always out to get you, and you have to always guard against being ground out because you're 2 yards back from the first violin, and you're always playing in a lower register. So he has da 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 ya da 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 da. Right? I want to hear you immediately. So if you can really get into the string for the first note, and everybody else just cool it a little bit more, so we immediately know that the solo is shifted from first to second. Would you mind doing it once more?
First, I'd like to hear more accents and also no retard at the end.
I don't think they did a retard. They did
Meno.
They did a subtle Pochettino allargando.
Pochettino.
Did you think it would be the last three notes?
I was talking about the last three notes.
Wow.
So
We're not playing this piece anymore.
Thank goodness.
no Pochettino, Allegro.
Maybe a tiny space before the last note. It just seems like you you let the air out of the sails.
Well, did you want the last two notes to be a little more accented too? Or last three notes a little more accented? Or we're separated in
That last note has an accent. Is there an accent? There's no accent. I can't even see it anymore.
You know
Is there
what,
an
Paul?
accent in the last note?
If I don't have, if Paul sometimes asks me, so what do you got there? And if I think that he's going to say, please don't put any accent, if you haven't got some, I'll write in an accent and say, oh, I've got an accent marked here. So you can just put it in sometimes.
When I agree to do something Mr. Fred Sherry does, and I don't agree with it, I'll mark it in the part with his initials so I know the next time.
And that's why usually I refuse to play with these two.
That's what chamber music is all about.
But I think what Mr. Neubauer was saying about the three notes at the end will resolve itself more easily if you move into them. And if you hold the tempo, then hold the tempo for the last three notes, then I think it gets pretty stodgy. So can you start the same place and think about hearing the second violin when he has his entrance, and think about moving it all the way to the chorus at the end.
So, you want me to...
We have to go, right?
Can't hear you.
3:18.
Not quite.
You want me to start like the melody from...
Right on the downbeat.
No.
Right on the downbeat, yeah.
3:14.
better without retard. I still think it could be more da 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 ba ba ba. Try it one last time. That was much better.
And the song, I feel that you want to play quite lyrically, and I don't. That's not what I was actually saying. But there's a real sort of edge to it.
Okay.
Right now it's feeling a little.
I mean, just remember you're playing with an instrument, the piano, that has O's and edge at the beginning, especially it's always da, 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 da. And so to match it, you have to have teeth at the beginning. You have to have bite at the beginning of the note. Da, ba, 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 ba. I think also in the viola, just to get more clarity, da 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 da. If you're in the middle of the bow, where it's the weakest, I hear the separation, but it wouldn't have the excitement. I think if you move toward more toward the frog, and you got a little bit more.
One more question about those last three notes. Is when you guys are playing this piece, is there any point that when you think of that the piano's going down, splat down at the bottom? Do you put that into your thinking at all?
How do you mean?
Well, because it doesn't just stay this, jumps down to the bottom of the piano for the very last note, doesn't he? Yes. Does that make the time? Is that part of your consideration for how the timing works? No.
I think that you can go bum. You can set the last note.
That thing.
Yeah,
Hey, can I say one more thing, because we have to stop. I know you have to go, but I want to ask my colleagues this question and you to think about it too. When you're playing a piece like this, which moves around in mood quite a bit, and some of the things you do by doing what was talked about, like as you use the bow, or you have a certain thing that slides, or you're actually playing a different way. Is there another way in which you change your playing, which is not so much how you use the instrument or your bow or your left hand, but it's more how you feel inside that changes how you play?
I'm a very big believer in that. I think that.
Yeah.
Inside. Well, I think
some people don't believe that, and other people believe that it's more strong.
As an exercise, you can just play one note, and you pick a note, and try to play that one note with different feelings and different expressions, and see if you can even just play the same way and make us know what you're thinking. And it's very good. I think a very good exercise because it makes us come in to really feel what we're doing. But I think another thing is also the touch. When you're actually touching the instrument, what does it feel like when you go from one place to another? When you make a slide or make a shift, how does that relate to the feelings that you want to portray? You know what I mean? That's sort of a very weird thing to think about.
Yes.
But there is a different feeling when you touch anything in a certain way. And when I'm playing in a certain way, and I want to be very sort of very smooth, it's going to feel a certain way in my fingers in both hands. And the same when I want to be very aggressive, it's going to feel very different. And to be feeling those, how does it actually feel? How does it feel inside? How does it feel in the left hand?
Yes.
It's all, I think, part of the practice.
Yeah, what I was trying to suggest is that lots of musicians, if you ask them all to compare those ideas, nobody really feels the same about it. And so you don't have to all feel the same as long as you're going for the same ideas, more or less, that the music is saying something. And sometimes it's not saying one thing, there are opposing parts going on at the same time. But
it's like this, the duet. That your answer could be the same way or it could be a little different. You know what I mean? That imagine it's an opera. You're two opera singers, and you can react in different ways. There's not one exact way of doing it, but of course it does. There are certain rules that you have to adhere to. It's not going on.
this 122, And these guys have to have an archdirectional in 10 minutes. So we should let them go with great thanks for everybody for being here. And thanks for inviting us.